Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. This is a look at the market leading stocks via our proprietary scans for Thursday, May 8th, 2014. That's Ocho de Mayo. Anyway, so what we have today is we've got very few signals, but we do have some real volume popping out here. Good volume in Wynn Resorts today. That one's closing very strongly. About 1.5% above the day's VWAP, even though it's still below the day's open, but definitely forming a more positive divergent candle. So keep an eye on that. First Solar really weak today. The Kramarians are definitely trapped in that one. That one's almost 7% below the day's open on more than twice the typical volume. Entertainment Arts, EA, big volume, had a little long play in that today. Didn't have too much to show for it. eBay. Pretty good volume there. Baidu, notably weak and almost 4% below the day's open. Got a volume bump in Adobe. That one's fairly weak. The only real signal we have is Qualcomm, which is posting a contra sell signal. On the financial side, not much here. There's no signals either way. We've got another volume bump in Sallie Mae, still unwinding that thing. ICE has decent volume and is having a fairly strong day, as is CME, so they may want to play tomorrow. And American Express is having a fairly strong day on only typical volume. Moving on to the energy names, a couple of signals here. Got an upside CPS and CHK, and we also have one in RIG. A couple of volume bumps. We've got one in PBR that's still heading up here. That's 2% above the day's open. And Devon Energy is having a big day, 3% above the day's open on 1 to 2 times the typical volume. Note that the CHK with the signal is on a volume bump, and we also have a volume bump in BP. Moving on to the market generals, a little bit better to buy here, but certainly nothing definitive. We've got a volume bump in Disney, that's 1.5% below the day's open. And we've got a pretty strong day brewing in John Deere, and that one's flirting with an upside signal as well. UNH, upside CPS condition, that one's 3% above the day's open, so that one's having a pretty strong day. As far as the housing names go, we've got an RPS on DHI to the upside, but that one doesn't have that the volume bump. Nothing else is really sticking out here too much. Transports, we've got an upside CPS in Norfolk Southern, but that's on very light volume. And finally, moving on to the commodity names, definitely some movement here, but not a lot of signals to really hang our hat on. Silver wheat and SLW is 2% below the day's open. We've got a downside contra candle on FCX. We have a downside signal in potash. That's a CPS. That one's on fairly light volume, so I'd like to see that pick up some more volume before the close. And that's about it. Not a lot of signals today. Tomorrow's going to be fairly light on data, but we do have a 30-year auction, so maybe we'll see if that shuffles the deck a little bit for us. All right, guys. As always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.